entertain none of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'ma need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes.
The what?
All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes.
Okay.
Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about.
Yeah.
Did Jay reach out yet?
Nah, Bob. He ghosting.
What the f*** is this motherfucker doing? This thing sweet now because I'm in here.
It's all good. You about to get out on bail.
Nah, fuck that. Hey, yo, check this out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Alright, Pop. It's crazy right now.
Everybody out there quiet as a motherfucker, huh?
Yeah,
exactly. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have the last laugh.
What about all these lawsuits, though, Pop?
Ain't none of them getting shit. I ain't worth nothing. Ain't got shit in my name anyway. Don't even worry about it. Bunch of money hungry and shit.
Pop, Justin said, what should he do about his whip, though?
Man, the f*** is you talking about? You don't see this shit I'm dealing with right now?
I know, Bob. I told his stupid ass.
Hey, yo, check this out. Tell his light-skinned ass to go make a club appearance or something. Motherfucker, make some money. You 30 years old and shit. Pay your own fucking car. Hey.
I told him drop some music. I'm about to drop a new track this week. Everybody gonna want to hear what my sound like.
Man, we not doing that shit. Y'all need to stay quiet.
Pop, I can rap though. We got attention right now.
Man, just do what the f*** I told you to do. And don't forget about the list. Make sure that shit is fucking signed.
Alright.
I was telling you that I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
Bodyguard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a...
We ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down.
That I want to make sure that I mentor through being an example of what I do in business and inspire the people that especially need.
Many people are unaware of the difficulty and complexity that Fonzworth Bentley persevered in the public eye. Persona Diddy's team had created, Fonzworth was more than simply a valet or an assistant carrying Diddy's umbrella. He was a person whose position, by global standards, looked prestigious to the public. He was the epitome of elegance, the well-groomed man who stood beside one of the largest hip-hop moguls. He embodied loyalty and elegance, but his everyday life showed a much darker side. Frequently, angry words and a flagrant disdain for his dignity seemed to replace the respect he was due to. As Diddy's former bodyguard, I witnessed firsthand how Diddy's constant demands and derogatory comments undermined Bentley's self-respect. This man, who oozed such grace in front of cameras, was treated in ways that stripped him of his pride and subjected him to abuse that went well beyond what the public could witness. Working closely with him has exposed me to unpleasant facts. Like other people in Diddy's inner circle, Bentley gave up more than just his time. He also gave up his voice, his dignity, and his own ambitions. Over the years, I've had difficult to share events, including some tense times that put us all to the test. Between the late 1990s and the mid-2000s, I watched a side of Diddy that the world would hardly recognize. Bentley was also there, navigating that same world and dealing with the complicated expectations of a man who expected nothing less than unwavering submission to many Fonzworth. Diddy was a man who lived on power and control, and those close to him frequently found themselves caught in a whirlwind. Bentley was a picture of luxury and charm. His posture was perfect. When he suddenly disappeared from the scene, fans were left wondering why this charming figure had been fired so quickly. His poise was obvious. He reflected a persona that fit neatly into Diddy's image, adding a touch of class that many found refreshing. Bentley was more than just a fixture on Diddy's arm. He was an important component of his entourage, and his loyalty seemed unwavering. Despite this, he left without giving any reason, leaving a mystery in his wake for years. However, this silence is showing the truth about Fonzworth. It's gradually becoming clear that Bentley, Diddy's longtime security, disappeared from his side. From the outside, Diddy and Bentley's relationship looked to be symbiotic, with an air of professionalism and respect. However, as with many things in Diddy's world, appearances were deceptive. Their relationship was actually much more complicated, layered with hidden tensions, unspoken power dynamics, and a level of toxicity that Bentley could no longer handle. To fully understand what led Bentley to walk away, we must go back to the beginning of their journey. This was no typical assistant job. Bentley's relationship with Diddy went far beyond the typical tasks. Their connection action began during a pivotal period of time. When Diddy himself was undergoing a transformation, we need to go back, explore the origins, and discover the secret history that has been buried until now. The story of Fonzworth Bentley and Diddy's partnership started in an unexpected place at a time when Diddy was seeking a fresh chapter for himself. It was the early 2000s, and Diddy freshly acquitted from a high-profile court case surrounding a nightclub incident was navigating a new direction in both his career and personal life. Around this time, he had just transformed his public identity, moving from Puffy to P. Diddy. The timing couldn't have been more crucial for him, and it was in this moment that Fonzworth Bentley, originally known by his birth name Derek Watkins, entered Diddy's world. Their initial meeting was unconventional, not through industry connections or mutual acquaintances, but at a small soul food spot. Fonzworth, who was managing the renowned restaurant 11 Madison Park at the time, was no stranger to hard work and ambition, but what set him apart was his unique way of approaching people, often sharing words of encouragement with others. When he learned of Diddy's legal battles, Fonzworth began sending him uplifting Bible verses, a personal and surprising touch that didn't go unnoticed. These messages of hope and strength seemed to resonate with Diddy, providing him a sense of solace during his turbulent times. Bentley was more than just a nice or helpful acquaintance.
Bodyguard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Yo, this show has gotten crazier since the last time I was here. No,
it's all about love, though. That's not true.
You really heard that? Nah.
What? Yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends. What is this?
All these trips that Kim and I aren't invited on.
You wouldn't pick up for the weekend and leave your kids? You don't have help on the weekends.
I'm not saying I want to go.
Oh, dis.
So who was with you this weekend?
A bunch of my friends.
Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber.
So far, so
French
good.
Montana.
Do you even know half the people you're naming?
No.
Are you drinking, Chloe?
No.
You have to get these margaritas out of here. Why aren't you drinking? Yeah, but
last night. She didn't go to bed.
I haven't been to bed yet.
you haven't. I want to be Chloe when I grow up.
100 victims.
What?
More than 24 of those future plaintiffs.
How does that even make sense? 100 victims? This is just one phase of the allegations and stuff. Like, on top of that, he had allegations prior. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God.
Diddy Combs on behalf of more than 100 victims. More than 24 of those future plaintiffs say they were just kids when Combs allegedly assaulted them.
Following Diddy's acquittal, Fonzworth took a daring move, and he served as a reassuring figure who reminded Diddy of faith and fortitude. He made a straight request: please don't make me go back to my hater boss. Diddy was impressed by his bravery, which showed a level of sensitivity and genuineness that few people in Diddy's circle dared to display. Soon after, Diddy offered Fonzworth a job as his valet personal helper, establishing him as a constant by his side. It was Diddy who gave him the nickname Fonzworth Bentley, which would go on to become famous. This was the start of a new life, not simply a title. Fonzworth would never forget the grandiose gesture that marked Bentley's entrance into Diddy's world. He remembered that crucial day when Diddy made a dramatic gesture that signaled the impending life-altering change. Are you prepared for the recent change in your life? As Diddy's close friend, Fonzworth was thrust into the public eye nearly overnight. The media couldn't get enough of the man with the umbrella. Diddy's words, which were both full of promise and warning, caught the essence of what lay ahead: a life filled with fame, but also pressures, expectations, and sacrifices that Fonzworth could hardly imagine. Diddy was covered from the sun and rain by the graceful person who walked by his side. The contrast between Diddy's brazenness and the gorgeous Fonzworth Bentley caused a stir right away and captivated both fans and reviewers. From Jay Leno to Regis and Kelly, talk shows were ablaze with discussions about this new, sharply dressed member of Diddy's crew. The picture of Fonzworth next to Diddy became a cultural moment, and the umbrella became a symbol in and of itself. This wasn't just an image, it was a statement and a branding move that changed Diddy's image as much as it started Bentley's. In Fonzworth's own words, the photograph of him holding Diddy's umbrella was the most effective marketing technique ever used by an unidentified person. However, what the public saw as a symbol of elegance was much more complex behind the scenes, elevating Fonzworth from an assistant to a celebrity in his own right. The man who had once been a successful restaurant manager was now the face of a different kind of brand that was equal parts glitz and grit. He was more than a helper but never quite an equal. Fame came at a price, and every appearance and moment caught on camera also put Fonzworth in a complex and demanding position. Diddy's interests were served by this carefully manicured image, but it also pigeonholed Fonzworth, keeping him in the role that Diddy's world required. Despite all the glamour, Bentley wasn't happy with just being a fixture in Diddy's shadow. Although he was likely best known for his elegant clothes and calm manner, he wanted more than to be remembered as the man with the umbrella. Fonzworth started to branch out because he wasn't willing to just stick by Diddy's side forever. He wanted to create something of his own and make his own path, which would eventually lead to both his greatest successes and his eventual departure from the media. As the spotlight on him grew, Fonzworth took advantage of the fact that his newfound fame was more than just a fortunate break. It was a chance to change the loud, unrepentant culture he had entered. Bentley spotted a chance.
Crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. Pray for the young people. You know what this is. It's not a game. And please understand very clearly, there is zero woosah moments, me talking about situations for over more than a decade and a half, and then all of a sudden everybody woke up like, whoa, yo, we thought you were crazy. Yeah, I am crazy. I'm crazy to tell a mother on 3 forms of public transportation across a bridge to get to work to support me that, hey, I may have to pass on these opportunities for scholarships because I'm gonna write a song and we're gonna eat for the rest of our lives. That's crazy. But what I am not is a liar. That I'm not.
Every name the man ever used. Shaw Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a. Love. I would just like to note here that I do not remember the PD era. That is number one. And number two, shockingly, for those of us who are old enough to remember when he was Puffy, Puffy did not make this. And it appears Puffy did not make this, I guess because he stopped calling himself Puffy way before the allegations in the paperwork. And basically what they are saying is that up until...
With Diddy's backing, Fonzworth started building his own brand in order to redefine expectations about what it meant to succeed in this world. He wasn't just there to play a part, he had a purpose, and he knew that his unique style could draw a unique audience. Building on this energy, he wrote a book called Advance Your Swagger: How to Use Etiquette, Confidence, and Style to Get Ahead. The book became a bestseller, giving Fonzworth a stage to showcase his ideals about etiquette style. Bentley was determined to go through everything on his own terms, even though Diddy had opened the door for him. He took on comedy, acting, and music, showing a versatility that went against expectations. Fonzworth's career was characterized by a time of reinvention during which he was determined to leave Diddy's shadow and stand on his own. One of his major breakthroughs was getting a deal with Fox Broadcasting, which gave him a platform to showcase his personality outside of hip-hop culture. He also became an ambassador for Courvoisier, a brand known for its sophistication and elegance, which perfectly fit his own image. Beyond entertaining, he started working on social projects. He joined the KN How to Go program, which uses public speaking engagements and leadership summits to urge teenagers to seek higher education. Perhaps one of Bentley's most important achievements was his involvement in the 2010 remake of We Are the World, a star-studded partnership that generated money for Haiti. Bentley made it his duty to inspire young people by showing to them that success meant more than just fame. In all of these ventures, this instance demonstrated Bentley's dedication to leveraging his power for reasons bigger than himself. After Diddy was wealthy with possibilities he had won from hard work, vision, and a will to uphold his principles despite the numerous ventures he had undertaken, Bentley was showing something crucial in his career. Bentley's association with Diddy remained a constant topic of public curiosity even after leaving his role as Diddy's assistant. Bentley couldn't entirely shake the shadow cast by his past with the hip-hop mogul. Media outlets and fans alike kept bringing up his time beside Diddy, speculating on what truly went on during those years and wondering if Bentley had witnessed any of the infamous behind-the-scenes dynamics that seemed to follow Diddy wherever he went. Yet through it all, Bentley stayed silent, never directly addressing the real reasons for his departure or the darker aspects of his time within Diddy's close circle. However, recent years have seen a new wave of attention surrounding Diddy's personal life and business relationships. Rumors and claims began swirling again, this time from unexpected places. The most significant of these claims came when Cassie Ventura, a former girlfriend of Diddy, publicly accused him of a range of abusive behaviors, igniting a storm of controversy. She brought forth allegations of physical and emotional offense, with Diddy's legal team vehemently denying these charges, but the public was divided. Many believed Cassie with these claims resurfaced. Several people rejected them as an attempt to defraud the powerful music entrepreneur of his money. The investigation into Diddy's past was renewed.
His death. And I gotta be honest, I'm kind of terrified. I think this is gonna be the last day that I cover it because we're getting close to something that is very dangerous. All right, so I wasn't kidding at the top, guys. I am probably not going to cover this anymore because it is definitely getting a bit terrifying. Obviously, we covered this. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. I believe it was Monday's episode. But yes, the Diddy lawsuit is absolutely crazy. Full stop. What if I told you guys that it is about to get even crazier, that there is directly a link to Michael Jackson's death? I want to be clear that when everything was going on with Michael Jackson, the lawsuits...
Hey, man, that's for damn sure. Freak off and got tore your world up. But you know what happened? You should have never sued the liquor company. That's where you up. You don't give a about you tearing up booty holes. You when you sued the liquor company, because the liquor company is owned by the biggest conglomerate on earth, the BlackRock people. You done bit off the hand that was feeding you, and now you done chop both your feet and your hand off, and your head's coming next. You was making money with your just shut. You just thought your ego got out of whack because you was controlling everything at them freak parties. Now you think you control the hand that's feeding you. You stupid mother. He sued the liquor company May 2023. November 2023, Cassie come up with the lawsuit. Connect the dots. Cassie got two checks. She got a check from the liquor company people that put her up to doing that shit, and she got a check.
Parties are the hottest ticket around.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time. You know, whenever you bring up a different element into people's environment.
That tons of people knew about, from car bombs to assaults to crimes. It's like P. Diddy was going for some kind of high score, trying to catch every possible crime like a Pokemon. He has terrorized the music industry for decades and ruined so many lives. In recent times, the evidence against him to support all of the allegations that have existed for decades has been overwhelming and led to a large investigation against P. Diddy, and now it looks like we're reaching the climactic finale with him being arrested. When this story broke last night, the indictment was sealed.
Hey, Kev, when you hosted for Diddy, did you catch any baby oil?
When I hosted for Diddy?
Yeah. Nah?
You asking the wrong person the wrong question. What's your question?
Do you think he's safe in jail?
Wrong person, the wrong question. You asked me about Grand Fort Media, I'm
And anyone who had previously been close to him, including Fonzworth, found themselves back in the talk. Gene didn't hold back when discussing Diddy's career trajectory, remembering that early on, Diddy had a certain restraint and approachability that disappeared as he rose through the ranks of success. He remembered Diddy as initially cautious, a man still getting his footing in the industry, but as he moved to larger markets like California and Miami, Diddy's personality underwent a dramatic change, with Gene comparing Diddy's evolution to that of a small, unassuming character becoming something as powerful and menacing as Godzilla. a shift that affected not only his business dealings but also his personal relationships, because it must have been tough for Fonzworth to be near such a demanding environment. Navigating the dynamics of Diddy's world forced him to deal with both the constant demands of his job and the effects of Diddy's changing personality. Even for someone as calm as Fonzworth, the pressures of working under a man with such authority may be too much, as Gene's stories help put into perspective why someone as committed as Bentley, who had previously been Diddy's daily companion, might have chosen to leave. The accounts of people who were close to Diddy provide a clear picture of what it was like to be in his inner circle and the expenses involved with remaining there. Another person who spent a lot of time with Diddy, Freddie P., fueled the flames with his own thoughts of Fonzworth. The experience of Bentley Freddie's unvarnished and unadulterated viewpoint revealed the power dynamics that characterized Diddy's interactions with those around him. He detailed a pattern of disrespect, implying that despite their apparent close bond, Diddy frequently treated Fonzworth in a degrading and disparaging way. Freddie claims that Fonzworth's role went beyond what was visible to the public, suggesting that their relationship may have been even more intimate than fans knew. Fonzworth was more than just an assistant, he was a symbol of Diddy's impact, and was frequently seen carrying Diddy's umbrella at high-profile events. Even more background was given by Gene Deal's story, which highlighted the bigger setting at Bad Boy Records. Diddy presented the company's power dynamics as not just typical but also encouraged during his ascent, giving a picture of an environment where ambition frequently took precedence over honor. G suggested that Diddy's success came at the expense of people around him, as he used friends, associates, and artists to grow his empire while evicting those who didn't further his goals. Performers such as Craig Mack and Black for Fonzworth, Rob, whose career took a nosedive after a short surge of fame under Diddy's tutelage, served as examples of how Diddy kept power and tight control over both his commercial and personal relationships. Because he was so close to Diddy, he must have found it particularly challenging to negotiate this environment, feeling the demands and expectations more strongly than most.
See what I'm saying? So I made a lot of money with them too. Like, there's a point, they did a deal that mirrored what Puffy's deal with Diageo was for Ciroc. So he didn't have ownership of that at any point, but he was getting a lot of money, like almost like $60 million a year at one point. So you see him go to daily on is when you see him have some issues. And these people have really strong relationships. Don't think that the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. That's a big part of it. The spirits business it's not governed. They got a discus board that they created, right? If you got two companies that are $3 billion a year, and Beam Centauria and Diageo, the distribution level, it's very hard for you to get things to a point where you can do the right numbers. They incentivize the sales force by giving them box bonuses. And then when you sell a product, you get the bonuses off the boxes that's there. But you make that no matter
who you guys participating in. So, you know they're going to get you if they can. It's a little crazy how Puffy get booted out the alcohol business and Jimmy Iovine steps in with Andre and Snoopy promoting it. It's never a good look when it comes to culture of hip-hop and for our community, of our people. I turn myself in. Sometimes you gotta face the music. That's most of the time. Puffy, I'm gonna give you some real advice. 2 quick things. You gotta make a decision. When you go to prison, either you're gonna be standing up pissing or squatting sitting down pissing. I advise you to try to take the first one, because you know if you're squatting pissing on the seat, you know what that means. Oh yeah, by the way, do not do your time going by Brother Love. Brother Love is not a good code name for prison. I'm out.
And when he put his head down, there's one of them white boys sucking on him.
Oh.
You understand? That has happened. You understand what I'm saying? Then you got these guys who, they go into these Turkish houses Once you get to that door, you don't go back in there. But you know what they do in them Turkish houses. Well, you can assume what they do, quote unquote.
Bentley's exit started to make sense in a society where loyalty was rewarded with power rather than respect. The tales of Jean and Freddie presented a disturbing picture of a guy who viewed people around him as resources to be controlled rather than as friends or equals. Given these circumstances, the pressures put on Fonzworth, who had first joined Diddy's world as a confidant, must have been intolerable. The sense of inevitable doom that Gandil's story conveys is what makes it so gripping. Jean didn't just describe Diddy as a demanding boss, he described him as a man who had lost sight of his humanity due to a need for power and recognition. He also noted the toxic influences Diddy was exposed to early in his career from mentors like Andre Harrell and Russell Simmons, industry giants known as much for their success as their hard-nosed tactics. According to Jean, Diddy had taken on their financial acumen, as well as their darker tendencies, finally turning into a person who exhibited the same callous actions that had helped him to rise to the top for Jean. Diddy's story was one of unavoidable collapse for a man whose empire was based on dubious moral principles. When federal officials from Homeland Security raided Diddy's mansions in Miami and Los Angeles in March 2024, the situation took a drastic turn. Although the exact findings are still unknown, sources confirm that firearms were found on Diddy's properties, adding a legal complication to his already difficult situation. The nature of these firearms, including whether they were legally owned, was unknown, but their presence added weight to the accusations against Diddy for Jean. The raids, which included helicopters circling his Beverly Hills home, sent a clear sign that the authorities were focusing on Diddy's activities. During the raid, Diddy's kids, Justin and Christian, were seen in handcuffs outside the house, further heightening the mystery surrounding what the agents were looking for. He had always thought that Diddy's behavior would bring him to a point where his wealth and influence could no longer support him, thus his legal problems were not surprising. Protect him from duty as he has done numerous times before, Jean publicly expressed his belief that Diddy would try to buy his way out of problems, but with the growing accusations, the likelihood that this time would be different looked all too real. Despite the criticism from Diddy's fan base, Jean stayed steadfast in his resolve and stated that he was prepared to testify about his experience. He was determined to tell the truth even when, as for Fonzworth Bentley, he has taken a very different road since leaving Diddy's side. He has built a job that highlights his unique talents and has avoided the controversies that seemed to follow his former boss. A great deal of personal risk highlighted the seriousness of the claims he had made and the complexity of the world Diddy had built around himself. In his personal life, Fonzworth accepted the part of a family man, living with his wife Fawn Chambers Watkins and their 2 kids. Despite his past relationship with Diddy, he has chosen to stay away from the scandals that now plague Diddy's legacy. His accomplishments in music, television, and branding allowed him to define himself separately, free from the pressures of Diddy's world. In the end, Bentley's quiet may be interpreted as a desire to move on and leave behind a chapter that once defined him but no longer reflects who he is. Bentley's exit from Diddy's world was more than simply a professional choice, it was a liberation from a toxic dynamic, and his future shows that he is committed to his own principles. A wish to leave a legacy based on ethics and respect. Regardless of whether his quiet served as a safeguard or as a means of moving on, Bentley's life now serves as a tribute to his fortitude and a lesson that sometimes the only way to find peace is to separate.